Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." And you see, we as human beings, we need a purpose in life, a meaning beyond the scope of life and death. Thinking about what will happen after we depart from this world, we tend to ask ourselves, why are we in this world to begin with if we are destined to leave it insignificantly? A question that has long been hanging in a silent echo chamber. What is the reason behind our mere existence? And when we ask a question, we do so because we want to turn uncertainty, ambivalence, or ambiguity into a logical, structural answer. But what happens when no answer is found? Tragedies, tribulations, and lots of pain. Most of it feels unfair. Hence the quote that says, "Hell is a bottomless pit." Because no matter how bad a situation is, we can always find a way to make it worse. And that's not just theory. According to the National Science Foundation, an average person has about 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day. And of those, 80% are negative and 95% are repetitive. When we mentioned Bruce Lipton's book, The Biology of Belief, in a previous episode, where he talks about how the first 6 years of a child's life program their subconscious brain, in those first 6 years, children use their subconscious mind to live their everyday life. They learn not to run the street, to hold their parents' hands in crowds, and to listen when their parents say no. Another major point of Lipton's book was that adults are acting from their subconscious mind 95% of the time. The other 5% of the time, that's when our conscious mind is helping us navigate through our everyday lives. This means that we are spending 95% of our time acting from the beliefs we acquired as children from the age of 0 to the age of 7 to 8. Let's do some simple math here. If 80% of our thoughts are negative and 95% are repetitive, and we spend almost 95% of the time operating from a subconscious level, it isn't late until we realize that the problem is not with the conscious brain. When we look at picking up maybe a new habit of reading for half an hour a day or meditating for 5 minutes in the morning, it seems like there's something a lot more powerful than us, a lot more powerful than our conscious brain that is throwing us off the right track every single time. And when this happens, we lose the sense of motivation and we end up dropping the habits we wanted to start. And at one point, we start looking and observing the problem, and we tend to think that the problem is our sense of motivation or our sense of inspiration. We're not working on something we love, we're passionate about, and we always justify that as an excuse to not take action. The number one excuse that everybody encounters often is the lack of motivation. So when we don't really have a sense of motivation, we end up dropping the habits, or we end up dropping the goals and the plans. So by default, the real problem here is our sense of motivation, right? Well, not really. You see, our mind is designed to help us survive and not thrive. There's a huge difference here. You are designed to move away from anything that can cause any kind of discomfort, pain, or anything that can hurt you. The subconscious brain is programmed to ensure our survival as a species and also ensure procreation. Now, when we talk about a state of survival, we talk about a state of stress. And stress is pretty common nowadays. Let's actually go back to the moment where stress really starts hindering our lives. And you see that most people nowadays, when we go to bed at night and we need to set an alarm, that's when the stress starts. Especially if you're somebody who likes to hit the snooze button, you're gonna anticipate yourself feeling drained in the morning and feeling tired. Maybe it's cold. You're gonna start anticipating the negative feelings that you're gonna feel the next day. And you bring those negative feelings all the way to the present moment, and then you start stressing. And say you went to bed, you were able to sleep and not overthink. You wake up the next morning, as soon as your alarm goes off, you start stressing. And if you hit the snooze button and you think to yourself that you're just gonna rely on the next alarm you have set up so that you don't miss work, even though you go back to sleep for a bit, you are gonna be in a state of stress. Your body doesn't wanna miss the second alarm, otherwise you might get in trouble. And this creates a lot of problems because stress itself is healthy. It's crucial for our survival. But too much stress, that's where the problem happens. Before we start, I wanted to let you know that it is important that you watch the entire video to understand what I'm saying and for you to understand what I'm talking about at the end. Because if you just skip through and it doesn't make sense, well, you skip through. So, watch and listen carefully because I'm about to share with you some revolutionary stuff right here, alright? Why do you need to stop setting goals? Well, first, because you undermine it, and the way that everybody's setting goals, people wait for New Year's Eve to take out a piece of paper and write down everything they want to do, all the goals they want to achieve, and there's a day, January 17th, I think it's called Quitter's Day or something like that. You can look it up on YouTube. And on January 17th, almost 80 to 90% of the people who set New Year resolution goals would end up quitting. Why? You know, I was asking myself this question for a long time, like, why do we keep setting goals and we keep failing? We can't reach the goals, we can't achieve the objectives, and then we drop the goals. And then next year, we do the exact same thing again. The problem is, at one point, you're gonna be sick of it. I mean, you keep setting goals and then you keep flopping on the goals, and then at one point you're just gonna say, well, why am I setting goals? It's just gonna be disappointing. I'm gonna set a goal, I'm not gonna be able to achieve it, and it's just a cycle. I don't like that. So you stop setting goals. And, you know, I was saying at the beginning that you need to stop setting goals, and I still stand by that. That doesn't mean you need to stop setting goals at all. You need to set goals in a way. Let's talk about it. But really, like when you think about setting goals, it's easy. Anybody can set goals. I can set a goal. I want to make $1 million. I want to get in better shape. I want to do this. I want to do that. And what's the difference? All right, let's take two individuals. They both set the exact same goal. They both set a goal that they want to make $1 million, all right? And one person goes out and 2 years later, he makes $1 million. The other person stops working on the goal 2 weeks in, then sets the exact same goal again next year, and then the year after that, and then he keeps doing the exact same thing for a decade until he's sick of it, and then he doesn't want to even set the goal anymore. He's satisfied with where he is and with what he has. What makes this difference? They both set goals. You see, but the person who achieved the goal didn't just set a goal. And that's why I'm saying you need to stop setting goals. Because anybody can set goals. If you set a goal, it doesn't mean that you're going to achieve the goal. those people who achieve their goals, they do it because they don't just create objectives and they don't just create a goal or something they desire. They create a system. They create a system. And that's fascinating because look, most people don't think about setting goals this way. They think that, okay, I'm gonna set a goal, I'm gonna work on it, I'm gonna achieve it. Guess what? It's not gonna happen. It doesn't work this way. Sometimes it does, but 99.9% of the goals that you're gonna set, if you don't have a system in place, you are setting up yourself to fail. So let's talk a bit more about the example I just gave you. So the first person, let's call him Mr. Rich, all right? So Mr. Rich, when he set the goal, he said, I want to make $1 million a year. I'm gonna make that by April 24th, 2022. I'm gonna do it by working on my marketing skills and building sales funnels online to sell an X product that I built. He built a system. He created an entire blueprint that he can use as a reference to monitor his progress and to move towards his goal, towards his objective. The other person said, okay, I want to make $1 million a year and I'm just gonna figure out how. I don't know how, I don't have a system in place, I just want to make $1 million. That's my goal, I want to do it. Let's call him Mr. Poor, all right? Mr. Poor is gonna remain poor unless he builds a system. The human brain works in a way where, you have your conscious brain, you have your subconscious brain. Your subconscious brain is a lot more powerful. 95% of what you do every single day comes through your subconscious brain. And in a lot of references in neurology and neuroscience, they call the subconscious brain the habit brain. The conscious brain, the creative brain. So you can use your conscious brain, your creative brain, to build a goal and to set a system and to build a blueprint that you're gonna follow. But then it's your habit brain that's gonna follow that system step by step to move you closer towards your goal. But if there isn't a system in place, your subconscious brain is gonna be confused. There's nothing to follow, there's no blueprint to base your action upon, and it's confusing, and you end up dropping it. That's why Mr. Poor remains poor and Mr. Rich starts getting richer and richer and richer. It's how it works. So what I want you to do is I want you to stop setting goals. Stop setting goals and start building systems. Start building blueprints and systems. There's, I don't know if you guys heard about the SMART goals system. And if you click on the link somewhere on the video, I have a course about it, you can learn more about it. But again, going back to SMART goals. S-M-A-R-T. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound or timely. See, when people talk about SMART goals, it's a smart way to set goals. It's not a smart way to set goals, but it's a smart way to build a system. Somebody wants to go on a diet, all right? First person who keeps flopping on the diet, he just sets a goal. I want to lose weight. I want to go on a diet. The other person who actually achieves it, let's say he follows the SMART goal system. It needs to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. Time-bound, whatever. He'll say, I want to lose 10 pounds by January 15th, 2021. And I'm going to do that by going to the gym 4 days a week. On Monday and Tuesday, I'm going to do cardio. On Friday and Saturday, I'm going to do weightlifting. And you can already see the difference. There's a system in place. You want to grow your Instagram, all right? A person sets a goal that they want to work on their Instagram. They want to grow their following. Another person says, I want to reach 10,000 followers by February 14th, Valentine's Day, 2021. And I'm gonna do that by posting, let's say, 3 pieces of content every day, or on Monday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and 1 video on Thursday and an Instagram TV video on Thursday, all right? He built a system. He built a blueprint that he can follow to reach his goal, in opposed to the other person who just set the goal. And that's based on wishful thinking, and wishful thinking doesn't work. So, to recap, stop setting goals. Anybody can set goals. If you set a goal, it doesn't mean that you're gonna achieve it. And start focusing on building a system. Whether you're following a SMART goal system or any system that you build, make sure that you have a blueprint, that you have a system in place for you to go from point A to point B. I'm gonna end it with one last example. If you still need more reassurance on why this is a lot better, let's say you went to downtown Toronto and you're in your Airbnb and you want to go somewhere. If you know the address, you have one of two options. You can either go downstairs and start walking and try to figure your way there, or you can open your phone, put the address on the GPS, and follow the map. Now, in both cases, one of them, in the first case, if you don't get lost, you might end up getting to your destination. But the other person would get there, there's not, you can't even compare, because the other one is following a system. He's following a GPS, he's following a blueprint. Go straight, go left, go right, go up, go down. It's how it works. So again, stop setting goals, start building systems. It's the systems that are gonna help you reach the goals. Goals alone are not enough, but when you combine a goal with a powerful system, you create a massive action plan that can move you towards your goal and help you achieve the results that you want to achieve.